For any motorsport fan, the word Silverstone will conjure up imagery in their minds of the home of Formula One. Classic cars on the most classic of circuits. You know, stuff like this. Grainy footage of a pre-seatbelt era Formula One car. Or a boxy 70s McLaren. Or maybe you're like me and it will bring to mind this moment, when this guy wasn't too bad for a number 2 driver. And it's only natural that as the traditional home of Formula One, that is what most people will think of when they hear Silverstone. But lately, when I hear Silverstone, it's been conjuring up some different images in my mind. I have been dreaming of a 2-wheeled Silverstone. A Silverstone that looks a little bit more like this.
Had nowhere to go, but colliding to his bike. Really started to show his form. Get Oliveira into all KTM drama. It's time. It's gone down. Who has the inside? Unbelievable!
And to the British Motorcycle Grand Prix at Silverstone is where I'm heading today. It's Saturday morning of the Grand Prix weekend. We didn't quite make it down for the Friday, but we're about to head off now. We'll be looking to arrive at the circuit around about 11 a.m. We're going straight there. We're not going to our accommodation first, straight to the track. Catch all the afternoon action. Now, I'm aware that most people, if you're traveling to Silverstone for the first time or at all, you're more than likely going to be going to see the Formula One. It is a top tier event on the Formula One calendar, and I do appreciate that it does pull a far bigger crowd than the bikes do. Stay with us here. 90% of the information I'm giving you are applicable to both. So you will be able to get a bit of information here that will help you on your trip to the Formula One Grand Prix as well. That's enough of me just sitting in my own flat. Let's get out to the circuit. The Silverstone circuit is located right here in Northamptonshire, about an hour to an hour and a half drive from London's Heathrow Airport. Now, the first step of any trip to Silverstone is obviously getting there. If you are flying in, I'll presume you're flying into one of London's many airports. From there, your options are to hire a car, or perhaps the most efficient way is to get yourself to London Euston Station and jump on a train.
That's it!
Which will get you to nearby Milton Keynes or Northampton in under an hour. Keep in mind, if you fly into Luton Airport, half the work's done for you, you're already halfway there. Now, if you're like me and you live in the UK, and you have access to a car, you'll probably be driving to Silverstone, which is what we're doing today. So it's going to be a straight shot down the M6 for us pretty much most of the way today. So we're on the M6 now. We just left behind a beautiful day in Manchester, and it's going to take us about 2.5 hours to make that journey. But driving to the circuit or driving to Northampton or Milton Keynes, wherever you're staying, is obviously going to be one of the easier options for you, because you can just go at your own pace. You going on that?
Children?
It's for us then. Now, Emma had never seen a MotoGP bike in the flesh before, so the first thing we did when the bikes hit the circuit was head down to the hangar straight to remember what it feels like when you get your first taste. Ourselves a grandstand to sit in for a bit of breakfast. So we've just spent qualifying up at Beckett's in the Grandstand here. Been to many Grand Prix before. Never actually bought a Grandstand ticket in my life. I'm always a general admission goer. So we are general admission tomorrow. General admission today gets you in the Grandstands. Tomorrow it does not. So we're going to spend the afternoon now scouting out locations for somewhere to sit. A nice grassy knoll to camp ourselves tomorrow morning for the day ahead. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so just quickly, something I think that is important at these events, for anyone who goes to, a major event, you're at a sporting event, festival, anything like that. One of the big questions is, what are the toilets like? I've been to the toilets a few times since I've been here today after drinking a few beers, broken the seal. And I've got to say, I've been pretty impressed. The toilets are all really clean. They look like they're getting serviced regularly. Every time you go past there's someone in there cleaning them. No need to fear using the loos at Silverstone. I've been pretty impressed so far. I mean, it is only Saturday. It's not as busy. So it could be worse on a busy Sunday, but we'll see. But so far, so good. Emma, ladies' toilets, what's your verdict?
Very clean.
Very clean?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what is there to do at the British Grand Prix when you're not enjoying the on-track action? Well, you could enjoy a leisurely stroll amongst the classic Grand Prix bikes, or perhaps even go bike shopping for yourself. Maybe you're a gamer, or perhaps you'd like to just go merch shopping. But maybe you're a little bit more rock and roll than that. You like to live life in the fast lane. Well, maybe the Monster Energy Fan Zone is more your speed, where you'll be able to enjoy some freestyle BMX, or see some girls jumping up and down, or even get yourself a fresh fade. And why stop there? You may as well get yourself a tattoo while you're at it. And after that, you can just dance the night away. So when you head to Silverstone for a Grand Prix, MotoGP or Formula One, it's likely you'll be staying in either Milton Keynes or Northampton. Now you do have the options. You can camp at the circuit, you can even glamp at the circuit. These are always a good idea. If you can get yourself together a crew, bring your camper van, camp, pitch a tent, whatever you're doing, you have early access to the circuit in the morning, you're right there. You don't have to drive anywhere, just walk in. For the rest of us, we'll be staying in hotels, Airbnbs and things like that in the surrounding areas. Now, get in early. Get in early. We only decided in, I think it was maybe February, that we were going to go to this Grand Prix for now in August. We've picked up this Airbnb. It has cost us £170 for 2 nights. There is another room with 2 single beds. So obviously if you're being joined by another couple or you're coming with a group of mates or whatever it is, you split that 4 ways, you're not doing too bad. But obviously, like I said, book early, book as soon as the calendar comes out, decide which Grand Prix you're going to, especially around Silverstone, and you'll be fine. And if you do book a little stay in a caravan park like this one, you can relax on your balcony at the end of a long hot day at the circuit with a couple of cigars and a few glasses of wine before heading to bed. Before we head back to the circuit for race day, it's time for a breakdown of some of the costs that you might incur on a typical trip to Silverstone. Yes, I am filming this bit here because I forgot to film it at the circuit, so we're doing it now. So here we go. Lunch of a burger with no sides will cost you about a tenner, or some classic British fish and chips will cost you about $12.50. This cup of brown water set us back about £4. A pint of lager, around £7. They will let you bring in a small amount of alcohol for personal consumption, so save a few quid there. And this 99p soft serve cost me 400p. And finally, away from the circuit, a burger with chips and a drink at this pub in Northampton cost us only £10. Now on tickets and parking, your mileage may vary depending on the event and the year you're going. These things tend to change year on year. But for reference, my general admission pass 3 days cost me £95. And my parking to get one car in for 3 days was £28 for the B car park, which is off-site and gives you a free shuttle bus to the circuit from the car park. But we were upgraded, I'm assuming because the car parks were empty because the attendance wasn't amazing this year. We got upgraded to the normal car park for that on-site. But as far as I know, the on-site parking was way too expensive. That's why we didn't book it in the first place. So anyone who booked that, you got a little unlucky because if you just booked the B car park, you would have got in there for that price anyway. But that's it. That's what it'll cost you. Now, enough from me here in the flat. Let's get back to the circuit for you for race day. All right, so Sunday morning, we found ourselves a little nice spot on the grass, set up a little picnic here, and we'll be settling in here for the whole day now. It's got a nice little view of the screen and everything here, and yeah, we're set for the day. I've spent a lot of time both living in and visiting the UK. Yet this is only my first trip to Silverstone. It must be said I was a little disappointed with the low attendance at this year's event. The atmosphere lacked that punch that you would certainly have gotten at the Formula One, and you can feel it. Silverstone is an F1 circuit, and there is a difference. It does a great job of hosting MotoGP. It was a great event, and Silverstone is a fantastic venue, but I think as an old school MotoGP fan, a part of me will always long for something that feels a little less refined, a little more grassroots, a little more Donington-y. Okay, so that's the end of a big day at the Grand Prix. That is the Silverstone Grand Prix experience wrapped up. When there's absolutely no cloud cover, which, to be fair, I did not expect at a British Grand Prix. It's a long day in the field, in the open, and if you're like me and you don't buy grandstand tickets and you just sit out in the fields with the other peasants, general admission peasants, which is something I generally will always do. Yeah, it can be a long, hot day, but it is a lot of fun. When you get to the end of it, you will sleep well on Sunday night. Yes, we're done for another year here at Silverstone. First Grand Prix done and dusted for Emma, and yeah, as long as we're off to the pub to enjoy a nice meal or a drink. Just get a reasonably priced pint.
All drink.
Cold pint in a cool atmosphere that isn't beating down hot sun, life-giving sun. And yeah, we're done. So we'll see you on the next one.